Hey, welcome to A Foreigner in the Philippines, and we were going to do an advice section tonight. So, what is the advice that we're required to give?
What you call that, the heading of the letter is how to trust again, which is quite complicated.
Quite universal too.
Yeah. So this is Faith. Thank you for sharing your problem to us, and at the same time to our viewers. Hi, Christian. Greetings to you, Terence and Beth, the inspiring couple on YouTube. Thank you. I am Faith from Northern Luzon, 34 years old and single. I am one of the 102,000 subscribers on your YouTube channel, A Foreigner in the Philippines. I love watching your videos during my free time because they serve as my stress and homesick reliever here in abroad. I sent to you this email to seek some advice. My problem is I have trust issues when it comes to relationship. These trust issues came after I ended up my relationship with my long-time boyfriend back in 2010. The boy was a certified liar, hypocrite, great pretender, and user. He's a nightmare. After I broke up with him, I said I don't want to be in a relationship anymore. But many people, including my family, always telling me that come on girl, not all boys are the same. Why don't you try again? Yes, I know they are right, but what will I do? I tried to be in a relationship several times, but it didn't work. It's really hard for me to trust again. Sad face, how? Thank you, Terence and Beth, for your time in reading my letter. I would love to hear some advice from you again. Again, thank you. God bless and more power. Your YouTube channel subscriber, Faith.
Do you want to go first? You complained. The first advice that I give to anyone who has suffered like this is I recommend a book. And I've recommended this book many times to people. I bought the book a couple of times and then loaned it and never got it back. The book is called Are You the One for Me? And it's by a woman called Barbara DeAngelis. Okay, now go out and buy that book. It will be the best money you ever spent on a book if you are in a heartbreak situation. Because Barbara DeAngelis was a counsellor who interviewed and counselled hundreds of people in exactly the same situation as you. And one of the little exercises that she did was she would take the person who she would say, well, what happened? And the person so many times would say, I don't know, it was completely out of the blue. It was such a surprise. I came home one night and there she was, and they were packing their suitcase and said, I'm leaving. She said, and the person would be completely shocked. So what Barbara DeAngelis did was she said, okay, sit down in the chair, look at that blank wall and imagine that it is a movie screen. We're going to play the movie of Joe and Rebecca. And then she would, right from the very first, when did you first see Joe? And she said, well, he was at the party and I thought he was very handsome. And gradually, as the movie proceeds, Barbara DeAngelis says, what happened there? And then the girl or the patient or the person would say, oh my God, I should have known that he was a liar right then because this happened and that happened. Well, why didn't you? Well, I didn't want to spoil everything. So have a look at that book because it will show you that you have a lot to learn, that you're not the only one, you're not an idiot, you just got it right.
Yeah.
Got it wrong. Just like so many of us, we can all tell these horror stories about being lied to, being with a compulsive liar who simply cannot tell you the truth. And what you need to learn is what the signs are. And initially, you should keep your expectations low
And
and
your hopes high.
And your hopes high. So that way, you will not go in there thinking, this is my knight in shining armour and I need not question anything he does. So when he pulls out his wallet and he has a picture of another girl there, you might want to say to yourself, is that okay by me? You understand? And then, so you approach any relationship as being exactly what it is. It's a new relationship and everything is going to unfold and you need to be paying attention.
Yeah,
What?
you're right. You already finished all.
No, I didn't.
Yeah,
That's why you started last time, isn't it?
Yeah,
and now
so
you're accusing me again.
Yeah, so on my it's my own opinion, personal opinion, personal experience.
Well, honey,
okay?
who else's would it be?
Yeah, so at first faith, I know it's very difficult on your situations because that's the difficult portions when the trust is gone, right? Because it's just like we always says that is once the trust is broke, it will never come back again. Because there's always been if it's reconciled, it's always been there's already a gap in that relationship. And on your case, you said, oh, it's a dog. You say that it's very difficult for you to trust again. How to trust again? My advice is forgive, let go, and move on. Right?
But little by little.
Yeah.
Don't expect to be able to trust totally, unconditionally, right off. You've just met Harry and he was introduced by his best friend Joe, and you're going to give the world to Harry? No, you're not.
Yeah,
you're going to take things easy.
Yeah, just open-minded, open-minded, your ears, your eyes, and at the same time, don't give totally yourselves. And always just put this time now, love yourself first before anyone else. Because how could you complete yourselves if you're don't jump up into a relationship wherein you're not being totally healed.
Right.
So forgive your ex, just as put on your mind that the relationship didn't work because that man is not deserved and that man is crazy. Okay? And
there's something else, honey, as well. It's not all down to, and I'm not talking about gender, it's not all down to the other person being totally wrong.
It's both ways.
Yeah,
because
wouldn't it be wonderful if all you had to say was, well, he was a total jerk and I'm wonderful.
Because
so it was all his fault.
I know it's not all the fault of the ex because possible there's already a crack on the relationship but you didn't mind it all, right? In other words, in between that long relationship that you got, there's already some hole there. It just happened that you don't build up those hole, those crack because of your love. We know that when we are in love, even if it's wrong, we try to make it right. Right? Even if it's very dirty, we try to cover it because that's blind. That's blindness of love. Love is blind. So my advice to you as a woman, as a woman that is also been hurt.
You're not going to give your advice as a man?
Move on. Forgive not just for that man's, but at the same time for yourselves. Because once you forgive, you able to relieve the hatred on yourselves, and at the same time, you will know, just maybe it's better if you listen a lot of love song, love song, heart song, or whatever kind of song, Oh
my God, that's one way to be in tears most of the time.
No, it's a way, because there are some women that I just love to hear some songs, right? And then after that, when he hear that song that makes him angry, he's gonna throw the radio through the door and says, I don't care anymore.
That's right. It's effective. It's not cheap. You'll go through a lot of radios I can tell you. But you know what? I can always tell when I'm sitting in the car, especially in America, right? I will be sitting in the car at the traffic lights, and I would look across at people on either side, and I'd be able to hear something about the music, but not very much. Now, if I saw a guy sitting there and he was going, I know that he's listening to hard rock. And if I see someone who's going, I know that he's listening to love songs. And if I see someone who's in tears, I know that he's listening to country and western, because it'll be, Daddy, don't you walk so fast. Daddy, don't you walk so fast. I want you to slow down some, 'cause you're making me run. Daddy, won't you look so fast? That's a real song. Do you know that?
No, I don't hear
It
that.
is about a little child tracing after her daddy because he's walked out the door and their mum and dad have split up. You can always tell those who are listening those kind of songs because they're in tears.
Yeah, so
Don't do it.
yeah, you know, it depends on, because there are some that likes to listen some love songs to release the stress, you know, which is, I'm one of that, you know, because, you know, like you, everyone is experiencing some heartaches, you know, because we thought that that guy is the perfect one, that's the right guy for us, but it's not, you know. So my advice to you, ma'am, forgive, and at the same time open the door. Open your door, but don't open any other door, okay, until you're ready.
We're not getting onto the pig thing again, are we?
You know, open the door for possibility of another man that could be your great love.
That's
you know, because there's always been the perfect guy.
The optimist is one who says, when one door closes, another one opens.
Yes, and I
But
believe that.
the pessimist is the one that says, when one door closes, another one slams in your face. Don't be that one, okay?
You know, so just open the door, and at the same time, just be careful now at this time. And if there are some red flags that next guy could be the same with your ex, don't jump on it. You know, always, this time now, at least you already have a guide. You already have a guy that the same attitude with my ex, never. You know, but at the same time, always remember that there is someone who is being prepared, who is been, what do you call that, hen? Who is meant for you.
Who is meant for you?
Yeah, who is meant for you. And your question is how to, what is the question, hen? How to, what's that? About trust, how to gain trust, right?
Yeah.
How to trust
how to
again.
Start trusting again.
How to start trusting again. It's very easy, but very difficult.
It's not easy.
It's easy but difficult. It's easy and not difficult. It's difficult. It's difficult because
honey, don't. My brain is hurting.
no, just wait. Let me finish my
Go on.
explanation.
Keep trying.
It's easy. It's easy.
Easy.
You know?
We're back to it's easy. Okay,
It's
we're
easy.
holding on to that. We're holding on to that.
It's easy. Just forget and look the positive side on it. It's difficult because we know that trusting someone again, because you're in a very difficult situations before,
pain.
and you're in pain, you're in hatred, you're in your fears to jump again and try in a relationship. That's very difficult. But always remember that in anyone else, there's a good side in every person, and look the positive side on that person's, because no matter how dark the heart of that person, there's always been a good on it. You know,
Right.
I
It's
remember
just
a movie.
in
Let me see
that particular case, you didn't find it.
Yeah, I remember a movie. Movie. I watched a movie about that Thailand. I think Thailand or Vietnamese movie.
Okay.
And he's a Goro, right? The one that
Guru.
remember I told
A
you
guru?
about. Yeah, about the evil hunter. Remember it? I watched that.
He's hunting evil.
Yeah, a hunting evil.
Did he find it?
Yeah, and then the hunting evil says to his guru, he says that, I think I'm not the good one, because others are being the one that get it, right? And then the guru said to him, you know on yourselves, it's not about killing those people, but it's about changing them into a good one. Because always remember, before they came bad, they are good, and once they're bad, they can return into good. You know, so always remember that just look on the positive side, and at the same time, there is someone waiting for you to say, I love you, and I will take care for you for the rest of my life.
Right.
Till death do us
just not
part.
that one that you've let go.
Yes.
Okay, so don't spend too much time trying to change him, okay, and giving him another chance. Sorry.
And I know that I know your situations is painful, it's very hurt, because every woman, every man has experience with that. You know, the other guys are drinking, other guys are throwing some
Not
stone,
throwing the radio.
throwing some radio. Girls have been doing that, crying many times, you know, but it's part of the process. Crying is part of a process to release the pain, to release the hatred on yourselves. But later on, you will just say, oh, I remember. Maybe one time you will meet that ex on the road, and you're gonna say, hey, what happened? That's
Sometimes
good.
it may take a long time. I remember somebody telling me a story, a true story of themselves, that they were in the airport. They were in the airport, and they were there, obviously, I'm not going to state the obvious, they were either catching a plane or meeting somebody, and they bumped into an old flame, an ex of quite a long time ago, and they said hello to this man, and the man was in shock at seeing her, and they stood in a public place in the airport, and she suddenly realized that she'd never apologized to this man for treating him very badly. And she said, I just want you to know that I treated you so badly, and I have felt terrible about it ever since, and I'm really sorry, and I hope you can forgive me. And the man burst into tears.
Why?
Because he had needed to have that apology and that acknowledgement for all of those years since they had last seen each other.
Yeah.
And it helped him to put it to rest. But that was the impact that her simple apology made on that man who she had treated so badly. And I think, if we're honest, we all have someone who we would like to apologize to. I'm sure that we do, you know?
Yeah.
And if you remember that...
Oh, that's the part where there's a closure.
That's right, that's the closure. But if you remember that, if I can get a word in here. No, if you can remember that and remember that some of what happened was your fault. And if you can at least take responsibility for those things which you did, which really didn't help, may have caused him to act out of character, the chances are that he is now with someone else and behaving like the perfect man.
Yeah, and could be possible, you know, because sometimes we thought that we are right? Because when we're in the relationship and we're in pain, we're in hatred, we always thought that we are right. He is liar. He has a lot of BS in his life. But you didn't realize that, you know, if in the side of that man, the man also thought he taught me how to be BS, right? He taught me how to be a liar. You know, so in other words, it's not just one-sided. Sometimes you just don't realize that both of you are making that a poison in the relationship.
Yeah,
You know, and
it's never all one
it's,
person.
yeah, and it's better if, and it's always been better if once the relationship is already poisonous, it's better to take part in it. In other words, to be apart, rather than to hurt each other more and more until you don't have respect anymore of yourselves.
You know, the fact is that we're not all meant for everyone.
Yeah.
Sometimes, you know, sometimes you can have two very good friends who you absolutely love, but they hate each other. In other words, you can love a person, you can love that person over there, and you can love that person over there, and they can absolutely adore you, but put them together thinking that that's all that's needed. Well, they love me and I love them, therefore they must love each other. No, that's an equation that doesn't always work. So just be prepared for that. He may be getting on really great now. He may really have learned a lot from his relationship with you, and it was time for him to move on as well.
Yeah.
Let's hope that he has.
Yeah, and at the same time, move on. And if, you know, if there's a need for closure, you know, just to what do you call that, honey? To make things cleared, and at the same time to make what for your conscience, right? But if it's not needed, then don't, because sometimes the closure, once you cried, as our other sender is, they both cried and then they forget, right?
Yeah, you don't. We've already done an advice thing where the closure got to be quite hot stuff.
Yeah.
And led to all kinds of unclosed.
But sometimes, you know, sometimes closure makes things work, right?
Yes, but you don't have to get there and get undressed to do it, do you?
Yes. So please like, comment, and subscribe. Again, Faith, thank you so much. And don't worry, we got more. We got viewers that will
give their input.
Give their input, and at the same time with their brilliant advice.
And Faith,
yeah.
Faith, don't forget what your name is.
Yeah, Faith.
Your name is Faith, and our names mean something.
Don't lose hope.
Have faith, Faith.
Yeah,
and things will get better.
Yeah, and always remember that to heal the pain is to love, because the love is the magic word that will heal everything. Have a good day and God bless. Thank you. And for new to our channel, don't forget to hit subscribe and give us likes. God bless.